What is happening? It's been a while, hasn't it? Yeah. Uh, why have I been gone for so long? Well, school. Yeah, that's pretty much why. I've been really busy with school, so I haven't been able to do any videos, gaming or otherwise. But I have a good Thanksgiving break coming up, starting tomorrow, so, well, from school anyway. I still have to work over the weekend. I have like exactly one day off during the Thanksgiving weekend, and that is Thanksgiving Day. I'm going out of town to see my girlfriend of sorts. I don't know what you'd call it, but yeah, it's just a chick I'm going out with, kind of. So I'm gonna be seeing her tomorrow. So I figured I'd do a little video. Gonna talk about a number of things here. Uh, yeah, okay. I'll start with like a little bit of an update. I'm gonna be finishing off a couple of series that I have not finished. Uh, Specifically Final Fantasy VI, the Eternal Crystals, which I did last winter, and it progressed all the way over until the summer, right, of this year, and then I just stopped doing it. I think I had to grind a lot, and I have not done that, but I'm gonna try and do that for sure. Recover my last save file, see where I'm at, and go from there. Uh, Final Fantasy VI, the original game. I'm actually gonna redo that because I went back last year and I looked and I watched some of the videos of it, and it's pretty bad. So I'm gonna redo it now with the live stream. Now with capturing, I should be able to do it pretty easily. I may even do a live stream of it. I don't know. I need to see if my capture device can accomplish such a thing. It being hooked up to my Wii. Worst comes to worst, I'll just find like an emulator or something and play it off my laptop or whatever. I want to see if my capture device can do live streaming. If I am able to do live streaming, I'll make a Twitch account and I'll do the live streaming on my Twitch channel. For the holidays this year, because that's coming up, uh, Hanukkah and Christmas, that kind of nonsense. And because my persona isn't that of a, I'm not using my Judaism as a gimmick anymore because I thought it was stupid. That's why I ended it and just called myself what people call my nickname. I'm gonna instead kind of, it's still gonna be like a holiday kind of deal, but it's gonna be like, I don't know what to really call it. But what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do a series of streams or just really long ass videos of me playing a whole bunch of games that I've assigned really like disturbing challenges for. First one of these being Final Fantasy 1. I'm gonna try and play it using only thieves. As and I'm gonna get as far as I can without dying pretty much. I'm gonna do it for that. I'm gonna do uh I was gonna do a full playthrough Final Fantasy 2, and I will eventually do that, but I want to kind of play it for real first and get like a stream of it so I can reacquaint myself with the game. But that's a future plan. I don't know when I'm going to do that, but I'm going to play it. And it's going to be no magic. But for the for the I don't know, for the challenging winter, I don't know what the fuck to call it. Challenge winter? I don't know. But for that, I'm going to do Final Fantasy 2. I'm going to use magic only. See how I like that. God, that's going to be insane. And I'll play the PS1 version. I'll have to do crappy PS3 HDCP stuff, so it's gonna be really shitty quality like Final Fantasy Tactics. I don't know what to do about that. If someone can please like tell me what I can do to bypass the copyright protection on PS3, that'd be wonderful because I went back and watched Final Fantasy Tactics and it did not look that great. Like it just didn't look good. You know what I mean? I don't know if that's my TV. I don't know if that's just PS3 being really weird. I don't know. Yeah, it kind of sucks, but it is what it is. Sorry. Um, and yeah, after that's done, what I'm probably gonna do also during also during the break, I'm gonna play a game that I've heard a lot about just from friends of mine and stuff, and that game is Undertale. It's a independent PC game. I've heard a lot of great things about it, so I'm gonna try and play that and put that on my channel as well. Uh, like the other games, like anything else I play, I'm probably just gonna lightly play it a little bit, casually, see how it is, and then I'll record it. That's just how I am. I do a lot of my playthroughs are more or less blind because I don't really, I don't do a bunch of research and stuff like that to do LP stuff. I don't have the time for it, to be real honest. So yeah. All right. So now I want to talk about. So that's my future plans, and the videos are gonna be released sporadically over the holiday season, pretty much all of December, more or less, or after the college break. So you know, that's just how it is. My schedule is crazy it's gonna be crazy for a while. Next semester of school, it's gonna be my final semester. Hopefully things will be a little bit better then, but who knows? Okay, I want to talk about wrestling stuff a little bit. Specifically, Survivor Series and the Raw after Survivor Series. I've watched a lot of reviews of Survivor Series by a lot of prolific YouTubers and prolific podcast wrestling reviewers, that kind of stuff. And my opinion is pretty much the same as everyone else's. It was a boring pay-per-view. It was really predictable. I was able to predict almost all the results. Match quality was okay, but I wasn't able to get it done. A lot of guys have been arguing that they had a chance to really take a big risk and not really pay for it, but they went with the safest option available, which I thought was really stupid. So, yeah. And my opinion is, what did we expect, really? What did you expect? Did you really expect WWE to take a big risk? They don't need to anymore. This isn't 1997 where they're in danger of being bought out by WCW. That was a legitimate thing back then, back almost 20 years ago. Now, or actually exactly 20 years ago, my bad. Now WWE can do whatever the fuck they want because they're the only wrestling show on a grand scale. No, TNA is not on a grand scale. Their TV their tapings are, have crowds of like what 500 people. That's nothing. That's nothing. That's not even a fraction of what WWE does. Even at Survivor Series, there are like 20,000 people there. That was the attendance. It's insane. WrestleMania 32 is, no matter how good or bad it's going to be, it's going to have close to 100,000 people because it's Wrestle fucking Mania. You know what I mean? That's never going to change no matter how bad the product gets. So my question is, what the fuck did you guys expect? Did you guys really expect a heel turn from Roman Reigns? Did you guys really expect a heel turn from Dean Ambrose? Like, what did you guys expect? I didn't expect shit, therefore I didn't get shit, therefore I was kind of happy with the pay-per-view. But a lot of guys are just shitting all over it, and for good reason. I mean, it was a really bad pay-per-view, especially compared to most other Survivor Series where, you know, something crazy will happen, but in this example, nothing good happened at all, so it was boring, predictable, and it was not worth what pay-per-views have traditionally been worth until the WWE Network came out. Why do you think they came out with it? And why do you think they streamed pay-per-views live on it? I'll tell you why. Because pay-per-views, wrestling pay-per-views now really do only cost $10. If it was $10 just to order the thing, I wouldn't order it. I would have just waited for the Raw after, and what I would have just seen the results on their on WWE's website, whatever. That's how I did things back in the day when I didn't have the money to get pay-per-views, when I didn't have the WWE Network. I would just see when the pay-per-view was. On Monday morning, go to WWE.com, see the results. Cool, those were the results. I didn't care what happened during the matches because I was able to make the predictions anyways. It's been like this for a decade, roughly, and it's kind of sad, but I understand why it's like that. Alright, next item. I want to talk about something something I've been talking about a lot in the last 3 some odd years, and that would be cold approaching and the pickup stuff and everything like that. And let me say this. I'm a product of that kind of culture, industry, okay? A decade ago, I bought... Where's it? If I can find it. Oh, yeah, there it is. What the hell? Something happened with my dryer, I don't know what it is. A decade ago... Let me grab it. There's my microphone, by the way. I bought... Bought this... Oh, that's upside down. I bought this. I bought the game. This is a pretty popular book. It's a good read, too. I recommend it, definitely. And it's about, dating. It's about this guy who writes for Rolling Stone, and he goes to a bunch of dating coaches, and these dating coaches tell him how to talk to chicks, and he gets way better with them, okay? And and I read it pretty much with the same kind of goal in mind. I said to myself, hey man, my dating life is kind of bad, my love life is really shitty, and I went to college and didn't get any play because I wasn't asking it out. Because I wasn't getting out there. That's the ultimate truth. That's what people don't tell you. And so I said, hey man, I could use some help. And let me say this, the pickup culture thing, one, I was never really a big part of it. I'm not one of these guys who wants to make being a player, being a pickup artist, that kind of stuff. I never meant for that to be a lifestyle for me. All I wanted to do was just maybe go on a few dates, have sex with a few chicks, just to see what it's like, just to see if it's as awesome as everyone says it is, and that's about it. I never, maybe at one point in my life, when my life was like really just when I wasn't doing anything with it. There was a point, it was right after my dad died, where I was like, but I was really depressed. So I looked to pickup nonsense to kind of solve whatever dilemmas were going on in my own head, and I was using it to kind of replace, very necessary therapy that I should have been going to. You know what I mean? And I fell into that trap. I became extremely depressed, and through no fault of the pickup guys, because guess what? They're peddling a service and they need to make money. That's why they have the whole "this can be you" kind of marketing strategy behind the things that they sell, because the things that they sell is just advice. It's just self-help nonsense. So any normal person who is able to have a conversation with somebody and who is able to be well spoken and who can groom well and who knows how to invite and make moves and stuff like that without being weird. They don't need cold approaching skills. They don't need pickup stuff because they just kind of get it. You know what I mean? I was like that, but I denied it. And I denied it so far to where I kind of went backwards in my development. And I started making really dumb mistakes in regards to dating, in regards to developing a love life, and stuff like that. I have a lot of missed opportunities. You know what I mean? So yeah. But the way I see the culture now, it's gotten way worse than it was a decade ago. It's gotten way worse than it was even 5 years ago. Because now the pickup culture has become it's become about it's become a thing of like whoever has the highest delay count is like the best. You know what I mean? And it's just become a culture that revolves around the sex lives of men. And if you have a really good sex life, then you're seen as a success. If you don't, then you're seen as a failure. And I truly believe that that's not really healthy, in my opinion. It really isn't. I mean, anyone can say what they want to say. You know, I've been on, numerous dates. I've had sex with a handful of women, and I'll tell you, it's kind of overrated. It's not something that you should be dedicating full-time hours towards. You know what I mean? Like when I discovered like a PUAism is what I call it. When I discovered PUAism, all I wanted to do was learn how to ask to get a woman out on a date and how to get them to and how to make a move without being weird. You know what I mean? Because those were my two worst. Those were the two things that I was really bad at doing. You know what I mean? Or that I needed the most help with. We'll say I needed help breaking the ice, but as soon as I was going out and approaching, that kind of solved itself. You know what I mean? Because the persona that I had in high school was very mean-spirited and cynical, and I made fun of a lot of people and stuff like that. I made fun of girls a lot, and it didn't. Well, I kind of knew back then, but I didn't really know exactly how attractive I was acting. Okay? I mean, women like the bad, mean-spirited guy because the bad, mean-spirited guy, has a lot more value. They have a lot more knowledge of self. They don't need the woman's approval. Okay? I didn't know that back when I was a teenager. I was kind of aware of it going into my 20s, but in my late teens is when, I just went off the deep end and I set myself back, you know. So I needed to consult dating coach literature to get my social skills with women back, but also to learn how to invite them out on dates and learn how to uh, uh, escalate to intimacy, aka make a move. But what's happening is a lot of younger guys, as young as high school age, I'll go on RSD's boards and I'll see, oh, I'm 15 years old. Rate my approach. I go, yo, you're in high school. You don't even need that. Like the only approach you need in high school is, uh, something involving some kind of event that happened in your school, or even direct stuff like compliments and shit, and just small talk. That's all you need. It's and you just need to do that with a lot of girls, and eventually one of them will be as attracted to you as you are to them, and or as they are to you. My bad. Or there'll be mutual attraction. Is what I'm trying to say. and you'll go out on a couple dates. You may hook up, you may not, but at least you'll know what it means to have a short-term relationship. You know what I mean? Or even a long-term one if it gets to that point. You know what I mean? But I feel like a lot of boys, a lot of men, even guys my age now, are looking to pick up stuff to kind of their solve their being. You know what I mean? And it's not really cool. So yeah, I wanted to get that off my chest. It's I've been talking about it a lot online, and I feel like I need to just come clean with that right now. You know what I mean? It's like I want to be a fan of pick up stuff because those guys, they do help a lot of guys, but they also hurt a lot of guys as well. And it makes me really sad when I see guys come on YouTube, come on Reddit, come on anywhere really, and they'll diss the pickup community and the pickup culture, yet they will peddle their own wares like they are one of them as well. It's like, oh, their competition sucks. Mine's better. You know what I mean? But they label it, but they're part of the same flow. They're part of the same storm. And I don't appreciate that. I understand why they're being so competitive, but the bashing, to me, it's not cool. I don't know. That's just my opinion. And last but not least, let's talk about Thanksgiving. Okay? I've encountered this on my Facebook, and there's a really good reason why I don't include my Facebook and stuff in my YouTube videos. There's a reason why those universes are separate. Joelsuf on YouTube is nothing like Joelsuf on Facebook, which is nothing like Joelsuf is offline. You know what I mean? Or there are similarities, but the differences are also really, really small. But it's a small change, but a big difference. You know what I mean? What I'm seeing on Facebook, and these are posts from friends of mine who have known for, you know, 3, 5, as long as 10 years. You know, just dissing Thanksgiving. They're like, oh, you know, well, like they all, you know, they're trying to they're tied into the attacks in Paris, France. What, like a week ago, last weekend, I think, or something like that, or 2 weekends ago. My bad. Yeah, 2 weekends ago. You know, and they're saying, yeah, man, you know, well, Thanksgiving celebrated, you know, the Pilgrims killing the Indians, blah blah blah. You know what I mean? And it's like, really, man, like that's not what Thanksgiving is in the modern world. That's not what it is now. That's what it may have been 5 centuries ago, and I did say this on my Facebook. But I always thought of Thanksgiving was as it's just a time to stuff your face with food, hang out with your friends or family or by yourself and just enjoy the time off you have from school, work, whatever. And be thankful for stuff. You know what I mean? And appreciate things that you may or may not have. Or that you may be overlooking in your life. You know what I mean? I'll tell you what, I'm thankful for the fact that I have all my faculties. I'm thankful for the fact that I don't have it as bad as a lot of other people who I've encountered online or off. You know, here's what happened. I mean, here's a good example. I moved back here in April, okay? I think about a month later, Goodwill built a homeless shelter pretty much a block away from where I live. So, on my commute to my job where I just walk, or if I'm walking out of the house just to get food or something like that, I'll see a plethora of homeless people walking to and from the shelter, just like the Pursuit of Happiness, that movie, The Pursuit of Happiness with Will Smith. You know, I'm seeing a whole bunch of what's his name? Chris Gardner is what the guy's name is who Will Smith was trying to portray, right? I'm seeing a whole bunch of Chris Gardners walking to and from my job, from the fast food joints that I go to, uh, even the supermarket that is like a block away from me that I go to shop at sometimes. That stuff is there, and I'm thankful I'm not one of them because I've said this. I think I've said this in previous videos. Is that for a very short while I used to be them. After my dad died, I really had nowhere to go. I didn't have a home. I was with my grandparents, and I didn't want to be there. You know, all my belongings were in my car, and I pretty much lived in my car. You know, for a good 2-3 weeks. It's unfortunate, and I'm thankful that I'm not in that position now. Because when I was in that position, like the temperature was hot because it was summer, going in the fall, but I still felt cold. So that's one thing I'm thankful for. Another thing I'm thankful for is being able to develop into the person that I am despite all the adversity I had to face. So I'm thankful for my own resourcefulness. I'm thankful for my own ability to not be what everyone predicted that I would be. You know, when I was in high school, a lot of people said I was going to drop out because I wasn't interested in my classes. I was sleeping my way to decent grades, and I had no interest in sports. I had no interest in I did play football with a few of my buddies from class, but that's just like casual, like, you know, I didn't have interest in playing school sports like I do now. I didn't have any interest in anything save for video games and music and punk rock music and NoFX and Bad Religion and stuff and George Carlin. Those are my obsessions back then. You know what I mean? So people didn't think I was gonna finish high school. People didn't think I was gonna go to college, and I proved them wrong. I'm taking my time with college because I don't really have any expectations of myself to get, you know, a really cool job, and I want a better paying job, obviously, and I will eventually get one, but I'm not in any rush to do it, you know what I mean? I do things my own way, and that scares a lot of people. A lot of people don't like that. A lot of people envy that, because they feel like they have to keep up with the Joneses, where I say to myself, well, the Joneses can compete with the Joneses. I'm going to be, you know, a Smith. You know what I mean? Like, I've kind of transcended that. Transcended the rush to achieve. Because I really don't care. For me, getting past the adversity that I went through in the first 25, and some would even argue the first 30 years of my life, getting past all that adversity, all the depression, all the traumatic things that happened to me, all the brutal rejections, all the things that you can, if you scour through my videos, and I'm eventually going to make a playlist where all those videos are viewable, all my vlog stuff, as the light shines. You gotta love how that happens. Nature's freaking awesome. Anyways, yeah, so I'm thankful for that because because I encountered recently. I've been hearing this guy about this guy, in fringe places I've been to on YouTube and on even on Facebook and stuff like that. Thank God I don't get on Twitter that much. I do have a Twitter handle. I just haven't been on it ever since I created it in September. I don't feel like that's necessary to be on Twitter or to be on any grand social networking other than Facebook, and that's only because uh, most of my friends on Facebook are people who I've grown up with. You know what I mean? Or grew up around when I was in high school and when I was in middle school and stuff like that. But I encountered a guy who, holy shit, we're talking about a guy with no direction. I have no idea how his family raised him. I don't know how aware he is that he is just making a very negative spectacle of himself. And and apparently he's really, really popular, or talking about him is really, really popular. Making fun and trolling him is really popular, which to me makes me question makes me argue about how mean-spirited we really are at the core. You know what I mean? And I'm talking about none other than Christian Weston Chandler. Holy crap. Oh my god. That boy, holy shit, is all I have to say. And I'm thankful that I didn't go the route he went, because there have been so many not opportunities, but there have been so many instances in my life where, okay, I watched a documentary on him, okay, and the first 20 or so years of his life were eerily familiar to mine. He talks about his love quest and that kind of stuff, and he drew comics of him like beating up his bullies and stuff. I don't know, and stuff like that, and like hooking up with chicks that he liked and stuff like that. And I said to myself, I'm like, wow, I kind of co-drew the same kind of comics with a childhood friend of mine, and I wrote revenge fantasies about that stuff. I remember writing a revenge fantasy called the War on Popularity in high school, and I'm very glad and I'm extremely thankful that I outgrew it. I'm very thankful for all my friends that I've met who kind of told me to not play that charade past high school, because people are going to see you as a walking stereotype, walking joke of just some man-child who takes himself way too seriously and who can't just grow up. But up until, I want to say, maybe 20 or 21, that was me. I had this little war on popularity, and I said to myself, oh, I remember I said, I wrote it in a journal, which I still keep. I still keep all the journals that I made when I was a teenager, when I was an adolescent. I wish I had my high school yearbooks. I don't know where those went, but I knew to keep my journals that I had in my adolescence. I knew to keep those around so I could read them and learn from them, because that's my own personal history book that I will use when I write my autobiography. I don't know when that's going to happen, but I will write an autobiography. Let me write some regular biographies first and, get on the map as a writer first, right? But as soon as I watched that documentary on Chris Chan, CWC, Christian Weston Chandler, whatever the fuck you want to call him. I'm just going to call him CWC. It's easy to say. I looked through my old journals and I said to myself, wow, Like, that was me growing up. And I'm just so thankful for the very small group of friends and family that I do have who have been on my team since the beginning. Who, never gave up on me. I'm so thankful for that. I'm so thankful for that, and I don't know what I can do to repay. I don't. I don't. I don't know what I can do to repay. But I feel like maybe just me succeeding and not giving up and not being depressed and not blaming other things outside my control on my lack of success or my success or lack thereof. I feel like that's enough to pay those back who I am thankful for and who I feel like I owe something to. You know what I mean? It's very important nowadays in this day and age. This is the final thing I'm going to say. It's very important in this day and age because it's so easy. And I'm talking to people younger than me here. I'm talking to maybe if you're in high school, or if you're college aged. We'll say like under 21. If you're under 21, listen up. It's so easy to not get out in real life and meet people in real life. It's easier than ever to just hang out on the internet and interact with people on the internet. And only interact with people on the internet. Doing that is becoming less and less punishable than in years past. 15 years ago, we didn't have social networking. We didn't have Reddit. We didn't have what's the other thing? Tumblr. We didn't have Tumblr. We didn't have there's like another kind of major message board platform. I don't know. See, that's what I'm trying to say. There's so many out there that's so oversaturated that you can create a persona on that, and it can be your life. And to me, that's deadly. Okay? That's deadly because it's a slow burn. Because you'll get into it, you'll think you'll have control, but you'll be addicted. You'll be addicted. Okay? Especially if you don't have a full-time job, if you're not participating in, doesn't have to be sports, it can be whatever you want. It could be activities, it could be book club stuff, it could be writing guild. A woman I went out with invited me to go there, and I should have done it, but I didn't. I was lazy and I had school and stuff. But you have to go out and become normal now more than ever, because the grip that the internet can get you in is overwhelming. It's overwhelming. More overwhelming than it's been ever. Okay? And just think of social networking now. There was no Twitter. There was no well, Facebook was around a decade ago, but it was infantile. You know what I mean? It was like college students only, and then it became students only in high school or college or junior high. And now anybody can have it, and you don't even have to have a job. You don't have to have a job. You can be homeless and have a fucking Facebook. It's not how it was years past. And back in the day, back when I was leaving my teens and going into my 20s, if you wanted to meet people, you needed to go out there and meet them. However you had to do it. Whether it was joining a group, whether it was cold approaching, whether it was finding a class or something where you had similar interests, going to the gym, running marathons, anything. But now, that form of networking is almost null. And to me, that's pretty frightening because it just means that more and more people are going to be spending their time, alone, getting fed all kinds of information that you don't know anything about from people who do not know what they are talking about. That's why I really decided to stay away from social issues when it comes to real life. Even on Facebook, I don't go on my soapbox and talk about men's rights and women's rights and Black Lives Matter and that kind of stuff and political bullshit. And no, because you can get so caught up in that to where you will become really unattractive to people who you care about and who want to care about you, but they can't because you're preaching and being smug. You know? Alright, so I've rambled enough. I've been running my mouth for 40 or so minutes. Oh, say hi to my microphone. I hope you enjoyed this. I'm sorry that I took so much time off, but I really did need it because, to be real honest, my gaming videos and stuff, I wasn't really excited about them, and they felt like a chore, and you don't want anything that you like to be a chore. You know what I mean? So yeah. All right. So I'll see you over the college break, mid-December-ish. If I'm able to do any more videos, I'll probably just do them anyways. But yeah. All right. So I'll see you then. Keep being awesome. Happy Thanksgiving. Peace.